Yes, Massive Recruit, back once again with another video, and today I'm going to do a little video about the HXC jumper settings. Now bear in mind, yeah, if you've got two different there's two different OLED systems out there, right? And there's the one which is index mode, which is the black one, yeah, which basically looks okay. So there's the black one that basically looks like this, right? This is the index mode version. This doesn't have a display, yeah, and this is, you have to put some config files and stuff onto this one. Now here's the jumper settings on mine. As far as I remember, this works. Now I may have changed the jumpers, but I don't remember doing that. This was taken out of a working version, and I took this one out to put my OLED setup on there. And as you can see, the jumpers are connected on the pins shown there, and the others don't have jumpers on them, yeah? So it's like 3 pins that are connected on there. There you go, 3 pins there. This needs to be set up in a certain configuration. Your discs need to be sequentially ordered. The reason being is because this doesn't have letters on it on the display. As you can see there, it just shows numbers 1 to 999. So in theory you can have 1,000 discs indexed on this. The downfall on this one is that you need to create an Excel spreadsheet, so you know what's on disc 1 or what's on disc 50 or what's on disc, and that's why I didn't like this one. Now this one, on the other hand, which is the one from Ian Berry that I keep talking about, I bought this is my second one that I bought. I've got one configured in my AKAI up there. Now this one comes configured for the Amiga. This is one straight out of the box. As you can see, the jumpers are set for the Amiga, yeah? Now I had to tweak around with these jumpers quite a bit to figure out how it works, but how these ones work is you have to convert your Omniflop images from IMG format or .AKAI format to HXC format. You can name them whatever you want, and all you have to do is drag them onto your USB disk, yeah, and your USB disk will just read the names of the discs. You select them and you press load, and then you just access them from your AKAI. It's as simple as that, yeah. Now the hard part is getting the jumpers correct, because remember, the jumpers won't work straight out the box with this. You have to configure it properly. Now I've forgotten the jumper settings that I had set when I originally done this, so I'm not sure even if the jumpers that I've shown people is the right jumpers. So I need to double check that, because I've had a couple of people email me and they said, V, I'm struggling to get the jumpers on. But I was actually struggling to get the jumpers on mine. I just happened to find a configuration that worked. Also, you've got to make sure that your discs are converted, or you save an HXC disc. If it's not an HXC disc and it's not AKAI format, then you'd have to press arrange or format and format the disc properly. If it says no disc or whatever the case may be, chances are 99% it is jumpers, yeah, it's jumpers. I would just do a quick check with, and when you buy this, put your USB stick in there and just make sure it fires up and it's coming on and it recognizes what's going on your USB stick. As long as it does that, you should be good to go, and you just need to figure out what the configuration is of your jumpers, yeah. I have some files to download on my website which are Omniflop floppies, which do work, so they might be worth a go and converting those. There's actually one that contains an HXC, or you can order discs from my website to check out. Now this kit is something I haven't got round to. This is an LED display which you can install on one of these if you know what you're doing, with a bit of solder and a little bit of farting around. I haven't even got round. I bought this off of eBay for £8, and the guy says he gives instructions, but he hasn't supplied any dial buttons with it. So I don't know, you know, what the situation is. He hasn't supplied any turning buttons like encoder wheel like this, which I assume is some sort of variable resistor. Now Matt Please is dead. Where are you going to get that from? I don't know. So yeah, peeps, that's the first part of the video. The next part of the video is I'm going to have to open this thing up now, take it down, and just double check that the settings are correct, and then we can go to the configuration disk files so you can see what I've got on my actual USB, if there's any stealth files that are on there. But I believe that this version dumps its own files on there from the time you stick the USB in. It's some sort of thing, it just plonks a file, some sort of weird file on there, which I'm not sure the name of it now, but we will by the time we finish this video. So let's get to it. So from left to right with the HXC facing you, yeah, pin 1 has a jumper, pin 2 is not connected, pin 3 is not connected, pin 4 has 2 wires which are to do with either the OLED or the buzzer, pin 5 also has a jumper connected in between these 2 wires. Now on my one, these wires here, colours of the wire don't really matter. What matters here is that you connect it in the right place. Now, the ribbon cable that goes in can only go in the correct way, which is this side has the red stripe. I hope this makes sense. Now you guys can get connecting. Next, we're going to go on to the files that are on my HXC USB stick. Okay people, yes, so here we are, we're on, this is the HXC software, we are on the Mac at the moment, but this works just the same on the PC. So as you can see here, this is an image file that I have converted from my converted from AKAI to IMG using OmniFlop. Now what you've got to remember, yeah, is this won't work in standard IMG format. Yeah, it will not read your HXC emulator will not read standard IMG AKAI files anyway, because these are raw files. So as far as I know, it doesn't work as IMG. You have to convert them to HXC files. And how you do that now, first of all, I will show you, before we go any further, I will show you the contents of my disk, because that's what I said I was going to do. And then I'm going to show you in another video how I convert these files. But I just want to show you now, as you look here, I've got everything's laid out simple. Now this IMG file and this config file, I believe it was put on there by flash floppy emulator or something it's called on mine. Hold on, I'll tell you now. Let me just switch that off, turn it back on. Yeah, it's called Flash Floppy V 1.0, and that is in the HXC emulator. Yeah, the one that I got from Ian Berry. And no matter what USB stick I put in there, it puts this image CF config file on here, right? Now, any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll do my best to answer it, because I will be looking at those. But as you can see, how my disk is, how my library is configured, it's in folders. So I've got my library here. I've got a blank disk here that I can copy at any one time, and they're all HFE. Correction, not HXC, HFE files, and I can use the HFE files. I can just duplicate them to make up new disks, right? As you can see, I've got an operating system disk here, and all in HFE file format. And then I've got all my disks that I've saved here from songs, and it just works out the box. You can browse it on there, you can skip through folders, and this will all work perfectly on the OLED screen when you just pop this into the drive and it works. Yeah, so guys, that's pretty much it. As long as you've got your jumpers set and you've got your files sorted, you should have no problem at all. Now, just to create yourself a blank disk, because I know you're going to need to do this, right? So to create a blank disk that's going to work on your AKAI now, what you do is you go to where it says floppy disk image and load custom raw, create custom floppy. Okay, so let's go to there. And then next you want to choose your custom layout, and I would start with like an AKAI S950. If you're doing 3000, put 3000, but you could just go S900 950. Click it on there, yeah, and then just go create floppy, bosh. And then it will create a raw floppy, you see there, two-sided, yeah. And then you can just go export disk. And then you could call that blank. And that could be your blank disk. And all you want to do with that now is you want to save it as blank wherever you would save it, export it, and then just put it on straight onto your USB, and then your HXC emulator will see that disk. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that in another video. So that's it, guys. I'll just eject that and then put it into my HXC, and away you go. So I hope you found this video useful. That's it for today's video. Take care. God bless. Peace.